Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us for our first ever virtual candidate forum. Today's forum is for the school board candidates places 1, 2, and 3. We're very excited that you've joined us this evening, and I see that many of you have already logged in. We're very excited that you're a part of today's event, and we're very excited to hear from tonight's candidates. We have the opportunity to be informed voters, and so we're grateful for all of you who have joined on to listen about the platforms of these candidates who are here with us this evening. It's so critical as we enter our election season and early voting in just a few days that each of you become informed voters, which is really the purpose of this evening's forum. As a Chamber of Commerce, we find it so important that our business community and the community at large have an opportunity to connect with their candidates and learn about where they stand on certain issues and what they plan to do if taking office. We're very excited to offer this opportunity and have a chance to connect with these different candidates this evening. I do want to talk to you a little bit about the Weslaco Chamber of Commerce as we get started. With the Weslaco Chamber of Commerce, we are a membership-based organization that encompasses businesses across the Mid-Valley. We have several businesses who partner and are a part of our organization to support the community through different programs, including community events and activities, and programs such as this evening's program for our candidates. We're very excited again to have this opportunity to connect with them and learn what their platform is today. I also wanted to mention to you that with the Chamber of Commerce, our mission here is together with our partners, we provide leadership to advance a prosperous economy that enhances the quality of life in our community. And again, as we host these kinds of events, the goal is to give these candidates an opportunity to share their platform and how they feel about certain issues. So we will have a moderator for this evening's event, and our moderator is Mr. John Grider, who will be joining us in just a second. There he is.
Hello.
Thank you, John, for being with us today.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes, we are excited to get started. And before so, I do want to mention a few things to those who are joining in. Thank you once again for joining us in this evening's event. We are seeing all of the love on social media. Thank you all for being a part of the event and supporting the candidates today. I also want to mention that for tonight's event, we will not be taking any audience questions, but we encourage the positive support and comments and questions that come in. We want to hear from you, and although we will not be taking those questions, we encourage the support that's coming through and we see already on our social media. We also encourage you to share this as we want to continue to inform others to become, like I mentioned, and I will keep saying, to be informed voters. At this time, I do want to mention that we ask all of our candidates to make sure that they have their phones on silent. I'll say it even though we are virtual, because we don't want any distractions as we get through tonight's event and ask all of the questions to make sure that we have a great program this evening. And I also want to mention that we do not have any endorsements for tonight's event either. We encourage the participants to answer the questions as they come through. We will give each candidate an opportunity to have an opening statement of 2 minutes. Additionally, we will be asking questions, and each candidate will have 1 minute to respond as we go through the questions. And Mr. Grider, who will be our moderator this evening, is with AIM Media, Coastal Current, and the Mid-Valley Town Crier. We thank you, John, again for being with us. I don't know if you have a few things to say before we get started.
No, I'll really, it's a thrill. I've been away from the Mid-Valley for a little while, but still with AIM Media, now based down on the island, the Coastal Current Entertainment Weekly. But I've spent 15 years at the Mid-Valley Town Crier, and I just the love for Weslaco, and I've got a little bit of purple. You can't tell, but. I miss a lot about the Mid-Valley, and especially working with the Chamber. And I'm really, quite frankly, Barbara, I'm honored that you asked me to be involved. So thank you very much.
Well, we appreciate you, and we thank you for agreeing to be our moderator this evening and assist our candidates as we get through tonight's questions. We want to thank you again for your support. And I do want to also mention that this is not, this session, this candidate forums it's to provide information and to inform our candidates, our community rather, of where these candidates stand on certain issues. And again, it's not a debate. We're here to hear what they feel, what they think about certain issues, and that's where we are with it. And so again, we want to thank those who are joining on social media. I see quite a few who have already joined on. Thank you for being a part of this evening's program. And John, I'm going to go ahead and begin with introducing our candidates. And what I'll do, so those who are candidates who are on the screen, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce all of our candidates first before we actually get into your opening statements. So I will be saying, again, your name and which place you are currently running for. So again, this evening's event is for the Wesco ISD candidates for school board trustee election. We are looking at place 1, 2, and 3. Place 1 currently held by Mr. Erasmo Lopez. Mr. Erasmo Lopez is joining us this evening as well. We also have Mr. Jesse Coach Trevino. For place 2, office held by Dr. Richard Rivera, we have Mr. Marcos de los Santos, Paula Sanchez, and Oscar Caballero. For place 3, we have offices currently held by Mr. Patrick Kennedy. We have Patrick Kennedy with us this evening, and Ms. Jackie Munoz Sustaita, who will be joining us. And I know that we're going to get them all up on the screen in just a minute there, just to kind of wave hello before we get started. Thank you guys for being with us, all of you for joining us this evening and being a part of tonight's candidate forum. Thank you all. We are excited to get started, and for those who are joining in, you have an opportunity to see all our candidates, and we will be placing them up on the screen as we get our questions going. So let's have you all give another wave to those that are out watching. Everybody today, thank you so much, candidates who are with us, and for those that are joining on social media. Once again, we will be passing this over to Mr. John Grider, our moderator for the evening, to begin with our questions. And I believe we'll be starting with place 1 and randomized questions that will be asked. So John, I'm going to pass it over.
All right. Let's go. Okay, for place number 1, Mr. Lopez and Coach Trevino, let's start with you, Mr. Lopez, with your 2-minute opening, please.
Time. Hello, my name is Erasmo Lopez. It's been my honor and privilege to represent you on the school board since 2009. You have trusted me to make decisions in the best interest of children, staff, and community. You elected me to do the right thing, which at times has not always been the most popular thing. I have lived in Wesco all my life. My roots run deep in Wesco. I started my education at St. Joan of Arc Catholic School. From there, I transitioned over to Horton Elementary School, Sam Houston Elementary School, and then on to Mary Hogue Junior High. And then along with my 4 children, graduated Wesco High School. Not all at the same time, but we graduated all from Wesco High School. In 1984, my best friend and Pablo Garza started LNG Concrete Construction. And through hard work and dedication, we grew the company to where we now employ over 250 employees, which are able to provide for their families here in the Mid-Valley and all of South Texas. My children, again, all graduates of Wesco ISD. EJ graduated class of 2000. Michelle graduated class of 2004. Michael graduated class of 2007. And my youngest, Caitlin, class of 2015. At a very young age, my parents taught me to give back to our community, to treat others with respect and dignity. At the same time, my sister Letty Lopez serves as commissioner in the city of Wesco, also giving back to our community, also learning from our parents. I am very proud of her efforts, and she has done a good job. In the last 11 years, I have served as a school board member, and I have been able to provide our teachers with good pay, a stable job, a safe environment, and keeping our salaries at the top of our region and our area. I continue, and I promise to continue to provide that for our teachers and all of our staff here in Wesco. I've done an honest and trustworthy job. I believe I have more to offer our community through our school board. During my tenure.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that time?
Yes, thank you. Are you able to see the clock? Okay, Coach Trevino, yes. You're on for your opening, please.
Yes, sir. Time. Yes, hello. My name is Coach Jesse Trevino. I was previously at Wesco East for the last 7 years, and have had the privilege of coaching many students, hundreds and hundreds of athletes there and teaching there at Wesco East High School. I have 5 kids, 2 of which have graduated from Wesco East, and one that's they're both going post-secondary education right now, and 2 that are still in our school system. At this time, I'd like to thank my wife, Ida Trevino, for Dr. E.T. for supporting me during this journey of mine, and continuing to support me. I know things are going to get tougher as we get going, and there's a lot of tough decisions that need to be made at the school district level. And I have been in the education system for the last 20 years, and a business owner for the last 15 years. And I believe being a previous educator gives me the advantage to run for place 1 school board. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and start with the questions now. I'm going to try and rotate them so you're not getting the first question every time. So why don't we start with you, Mr. Lopez. The first question is, how is or should the district combat the competition from charter schools in the area?
We combat that's a very good question to start off with. We will combat the charter schools simply by doing better, getting better grades. Our students will excel. One good thing that I feel that has come about by the charter schools coming into the picture is that they have created a competition for us. They have made all schools try harder to educate our kids. And of course, they play by different rules, which gives them an advantage over us. We try to, we cannot spend our money the way they do in advertising and putting TV shows together. And our money has to go strictly for our children, our kids. So by raising our grades with our children, which we have done over the past 4 or 5 years, that our scores have continued to rise and go up, that is how we will combat the charter schools.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Same question, Coach?
Yes, I believe we need to go out, think out of the box a little bit, and go research other districts that have combated the same problem, that have endured the same problem. Go out and ask questions, research, and see and look at different school districts that have done something successfully and have been able to overturn this. I don't think simply by marketing or doing any of that has worked right now. As you see, we're losing kids as we speak on a yearly basis, on a daily basis, and more needs to be done. I believe researching is a key factor, and having kids, offering. I mean, I believe Wesco ISD offers much more than an idea charter school can ever offer. But unfortunately, they continue to grow as we continue to lose students to them. I believe by starting school earlier would also help us increase that enrollment.
Thank you. I'm going to stay with you, Mr. Trevino. Are you in favor of term limits for the school board? If yes, how many terms should a member be allowed to serve?
I am definitely in favor of term limits. I think 12 years, 2 terms, 8 years is more than enough for somebody to leave their legacy and give an opportunity for someone else to step in and see what they have to offer. I think we have a very big responsibility being in the school board, and times are constantly changing, and new ideas, new ways of thinking are always welcome. And I believe 2 terms is more than enough, and that's my response.
Okay. Did we lose him there? Mr. Lopez?
Right here.
The same question for you about term limits.
Okay, term limits, first of all, the school board or the city is not in charge or has no input on determining term limits. My position is that I am not in favor of term limits. The reason being, that experience does count when it comes to dealing with with the children's future. I believe that if we do not keep experience in our school boards, then there's a lag in progress. We have to be ready. It takes a year and a half for a new school incoming board member to catch up to what's really going on. The learning curve is what I call it. And that being said, if we're changing school board members over and over, then it becomes impossible to have a progressive board.
All righty. Okay, and Mr. Lopez, I'm going to stick with you. The next question for both of you is, what has motivated you to run for office?
The motivation that I have is that early on in life, I felt blessed, and I felt that I wanted to give back to my community. And also I was when I ran back in 2009, I was encouraged by the community to go out and serve. That they felt that I would be good with my business experience and my employment experience of having operated and run a business with over 250 employees, up to 500 employees at times when the industry was strong. So I felt that it was important for me to give back to the district, to my city, and to Westlake WISD, which I love dearly. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Trevino, the same question.
Yes, for me, what motivated me to run is just a major concern that I see in our current district right now, the direction that we're going in. As a parent, as a previous educator, and as a taxpayer, we are facing a big budget crunch due to lack of enrollment from our students. There's students out there right now that we can't seem to get a hold of or things like that, and we're missing the beat right now when it comes to student enrollment here at Wesco, and that's one of the main reasons why I decided to run for Wesco ISD School Board, and just to directly be able to impact in a positive manner the new direction of the school board or the school district.
Okay, and Mr. Trevino, sticking with you, retaining good teachers is a challenge. As a school board member, what can be done to make certain good teachers don't leave the district?
I'm glad you asked that. Here recently, in the last few weeks, we've lost quality teachers due to them feeling unsafe at our schools right now. And, hard teachers are hard to replace, especially here at Wesco, when there was a time there was not a turnover. And, it's disappointing to see teachers leave due to them feeling unsafe. And I think that responsibility directly falls on the school board itself, my opponent. And we need to make sure schools are safe, and managing a budget, being able to give teachers a raise on an annual basis instead of just stipends. That's another way to keep teachers in this district.
Thank you. And Mr. Lopez?
Okay, I'll begin by saying that we have the highest teacher retention in South Texas, in the region to be exact. Our teacher retention is very high due to the fact that we provide good jobs, safe jobs for our employees, and we have had, and my opponent is correct in saying that we have had a rise in departures from our teachers here lately due to the fact that, and it is COVID. I mean, COVID has affected all of us one way or another. We have, and we as our teachers are scared, and it's understandable that at this time some people will choose to retire if they're of the age and they're able to do so. So for anybody to say that it's due to them not feeling safe, that's not true. It's just the time that this COVID has brought about, and it's affecting us in that way. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And here's a follow-up question to Mr. Lopez. You're still on. In a time of crisis, the health of our students and staff are of utmost importance. Are you in favor of students returning to campus at this time? What kind of solutions can you offer to help educators as they enforce the CDC guidelines to ensure the safety of their students and their own family?
Well, I feel that parents should be given the choice to decide whether their children should return to school or continue learning remotely. Many of our parents have hardships and situations with daycares, etc. And I feel we need to take that into consideration. Our school district will need to strictly implement mitigation strategies so that our school and our students and the community will feel safe once they come back.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Trevino?
Yes, sir. Same question.
Yes, sir.
I believe we need to come back to the schools. These schools are safe. It's clear, you know, when I look at other school districts around the valley, around the state, you know, the other school districts have gone above and beyond to assure that schools are safe by providing the proper equipment. You know, we provided a cardboard folder, you know, to put in front of the desk, while other school districts are putting plexiglass and just going above and beyond. This education right now is extremely tough on kids. I see it with my own kids, and you know, it's unfortunate, but I believe teachers are going to have to come back and reteach half of the material that they've taught right now, because and it's tough for teachers. Teachers are logging in more hours now than they did when they were working last year. So, you know, I as long as schools are safe.
Okay, thank you. And sticking with you, how does your professional experience relate to education, or what contribution do you plan to make to the district that relates to your professional experience?
So I have 20 years of experience in the education realm and 15 in my business. I'm a first time college graduate in my family, and I believe all of that has prepared me for this position. I don't think this position requires any experience other than people doing what's right for the community. You know, going to conferences or any of that. All that does is expose you to more information that's readily available to anyone. I believe that my experience being in the trenches with the students, with the teachers, with the school personnel, better allows me to understand and relate to everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Lopez?
In my professional experience, I deal daily with architects, engineers, attorneys, all sorts of professionals. And I understand how important education is to our youth. I feel that by me being able to share what I know with the school board and knowing what it takes for our students to succeed and what they need to have in order for them to get into college, I feel that my experience that I can share with them is that they need to work hard and then they will succeed. And that's what I would share with all the students that I meet.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. And now here's the final question before we go to closing statements. What are the ideal qualities for the superintendent of the Wesco ISD, and why do you think those qualities are necessary for Wesco, Mr. Lopez?
The ideal qualities of a superintendent are, first of all, that our superintendent must have excellent communication and be an excellent communicator and a relationship builder. She must be able to think critically and quickly, make sound and swift decisions. Her leadership skills have to be second to none, and the ability to solve problems at a snap of a finger. You know, these qualities are necessary because she is the conscience of the school district. The superintendent must be visible, approachable, a member of the community and the district who is involved in student life and an instructional leader, building relationships and enhancing partnerships in the community and the district.
Thank you. Mr. Trevino?
Yes, sir. I believe that the important qualities of a superintendent for any school district. And I've had the privilege of teaching in various school districts and seeing a lot of superintendents in action. One quality is being a strong leader. I believe every school district needs a strong leader, one that can say no to school board members. You know, we are here, is the superintendents have to manage school districts on a day-to-day basis. And we need a strong leader that can provide that. Another one is transparency. Whether the school district is doing fine or it's not doing fine, we need to be able to, the superintendent should be able to inform the community with that information. Another one is having a vision. If, you know, for instance, you know, right now we're losing students, we need to be resourceful and find ways to keep students enrolled in Wesco ISD.
Thank you, Mr. Trevino. And now, Mr. Lopez, closing statement. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Wesco ISD is an excellent school district filled with incredible students, teachers, staff, administration, and parents. A great community like many others. We choose the district because of the quality of schools. All my 4 children have benefited from the education they received at Wesco ISD. I bring over 10 years of professional board experience and know-how to improve the school district. These experiences have also given the necessary teamwork skills to develop consensus and move our organization forward. My campaign has been about listening, learning, and coming up with creative solutions for existing challenges. Although I am fully aware I don't have, pardon me? Although I'm fully aware I don't have all the solutions, I feel I can continue contributing in a meaningful way. I'm extremely grateful to all the teachers, administrators, and all educators for caring over our children. A school board member's most important job is to help the district reach its full potential. Wesco ISD needs to take advantage of the potential of our students, teachers, staff, and our community. I have been rooted deep in the community of Wesco all my life and the Wesco School Board for over 10 years, and I will remain committed for the long haul. Finally, I request your vote and your confidence. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Trevino, your closing statement.
Yes, I believe Wesco has a daunting task in front of them, an opportunity to go out and vote for several previous educators, you know, people that have been in the shoes and in the trenches and know what Wesco Independent School District really needs to continue to move this district in a positive manner and to try to find quick resolution to this pandemic as far as the way it's affecting us right now, and hopefully try to bring teachers and students and everybody back to some normality back to our lives. Please go out and vote. You know, school. We need to make sure we try and reach as many students as possible out there. And you know, I really hope the community comes out and votes for the right person. And you know, we need to stop this compañerismo approach that has not been working here at WISD. And it is clear with our budget, once we see it, that it's affecting us. And I know it's due to the enrollment of kids as well, but I think we play a major role in that. And we need to make sure we do due diligence in investing our monies correctly and building when we need to build, and don't construct when we can't. And you know, by doing that, our general fund will grow. We can give teachers annual raises instead of stipends, and not just teachers. You know, overall school personnel, paraprofessionals, and everyone else. So please come out and vote.
Thank you very much. Thank both of you. We appreciate it. And gosh, I got to tell you, the public has got to feel so good about candidates that want to serve the community. It's wonderful.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Wonderful. So we are going to get ready to transition to our place 2 candidates. As we do that, I did want to mention a few things. We'll be getting those candidates up on the screen. I do want to mention that we do have this also being streamed, this actual event, on YouTube through KWES, as well as the Wesco Chamber YouTube page. So if anyone is trying to access this event, it's also available on our YouTube page as well as KWES. Once again, thank you to all of the candidates who are participating today, and thank you for those who have joined us on social media. And John, I'm going to go ahead and kick it back to you.
Okay, good deal. All right. We're ready to start with opening statements, and let's start with you, Ms. Sanchez.
Oh, okay. Hello, good evening. I am Paula Sanchez, and I am seeking the seat on Wesco ISD School Board Place 2. I just want to thank everyone for coming in through Facebook, and I hope that I do you justice. I've been married. I'm the daughter of Pablo and Elba Mata. I've been married to my husband for 33 years. His name is Reynaldo Sanchez, and he also works for the school district. I do have 2 young adults, Ashley and Austin, and my daughter is an educator as well. I have a master's degree in educational leadership from the University of Pan America, now known as UTRGV. I also have a bachelor's degree in English and a minor in communications from the same university, UTPA. My qualifications are I am a certified principal, grades 8 through 12. I am also certified in language arts, English language arts and reading, 4 through 8. I am T-test certified, and I also have 22 years in education. I currently am an administrator at Port Isabel Junior High. I have I wear several hats. I've been an LPAC administrator. I've been a truancy attendance administrator. I handle discipline. I handle textbooks. I work with our campus improvement and beautification committee. I also am a campus behavior coordinator. I was also employed with Wesco ISD about 4 years ago. I've been in education for about 22 years, like I said. I was a teacher at B. Garza Middle School in Wesco. I've been a UIL coach for listening skills and ready writing. I've been a volleyball coach, instructional assistant, office clerk. I've also been a human resource secretary. So I do wear several hats.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Mr. Caballero.
Hello, my name is Oscar Caballero. I am a candidate for the Wesco ISD School Board Place 2. I am married to Alma Caballero for 29 years. I have 4 children, 2 of which have graduated from Wesco East, Cecily Ann and Gabriel. I also have 2 other children, of course, at high school at Wesco East currently, and one is a junior and one is a senior, Sydney and Priscilla Caballero. I work for a corporate America company, DFA, as a territory manager for the last 29 years. I have been very involved with our community. I feel like giving back to my community is what's important for me. I've taught CCD at St. Joan of Arc. I've been part of the finance committee at St. Joan of Arc. I've coached our kids. I've run a baseball league here in Wesco, pony baseball. I started a special needs baseball league, strictly only for special needs and kids with disabilities. I've raised so much money for scholarships, raised so much money for basically, I give a lot of my time back to this community because I love Wesco. I love children. And provide them a second.
We're cutting out.
Mr. Caballero, looks like we have your mute on mic, your mic on mute. Can you click on that for us?
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I had clicked on it.
Well, do I start all over again?
Well,
Jeez.
I think we heard most of it. Why don't you pick it up about halfway through?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I was a committed school board member from 2011 to 2018. I was part of many of new initiatives for students, teachers, and staff at Wesco ISD. And I am seeking a WISD school board because I care about our district, I care about our community, and most importantly, I care about the future of our kids. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And let's move on now to Mr. De Los Santos, your opening statement.
Good evening. My name is Marcos De Los Santos, and I am the candidate for Wesco ISD School Board Place number 2. I was born and raised in Wesco. I graduated from Wesco High School. After graduating from Wesco High School, I went to the United States Army and served in the Army for 4 years. I received an honorable discharge, and I came back to the Rio Grande Valley. I attended the University of Texas Pan American, where I received my bachelor's in biology and a minor in chemistry. Upon completing my degree at UTPA, I married my beautiful wife, Nidia De Los Santos, and we have 3 kids, Madison 11, Marcos 7, and Natalia 1. I have 15 years of experience in education. I've been serving the community in Mercedes through Mercedes Independent School District as a grant director. I've managed millions of dollars and brought in additional service to at-risk youth, thousands of students that we've serviced from all the different grade levels between K through 12. That position also gave me the opportunity to work with teachers from all grade levels, K through 12, working side by side with them, providing additional opportunities and resources. I've also had the opportunity to work with different departments as well at the district level: maintenance, transportation, budget office, curriculum and instruction, nutrition, and directly with the superintendent. And I feel that experience makes me highly qualified and for this position for place number 2. Currently, right now, we're facing a lot of different issues in the district with COVID-19 and also other unexpected issues that we can expect not only this year, but also in the current years to come as far as financially, with unexpected costs as far as disinfecting buses, overtime, etc., disinfecting campuses and schools. And I feel that experience gives me 2 options. 1, I can understand, and 2, I can relate to what's going on. I am an independent candidate. I am a no strings attached candidate. I am an unscripted candidate. And I hope that everyone out there gives me support and goes out to vote and puts me into place number 2 as their trustee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and start with the questions, and we'll start with you, Ms. Sanchez. How is or should the district combat the competition from charter schools in the area? Ms. Sanchez.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. You were cutting out.
Okay, I'm sorry. How should the school district combat the competition from charter schools in the area?
The Wesco ISD is an excellent school district. Students have several opportunities in Wesco, and Wesco offers a lot of opportunities for students. The way we can combat that is, I believe that we need to retain our teachers. We have excellent teachers, and I know I have a lot of friends who teach in Wesco, and they currently, with the current COVID situation, they are experiencing a lot of hardships because they're having to plan twice. I think that in order for us to combat that, we need to be a little understanding and compassionate towards our teachers and what they're going through. And also, we also need to be able to provide a safe environment for our students. So in order for us to combat all of this in general, I think that our teachers, we need to take care of our teachers and make sure that they have the tools that they need, and make sure that I'm an advocate of if the teachers are happy, the students will be happy.
All right, thank you, Time. And Mr. Caballero, same question. You're on mute again. You're on mute again.
There we go.
Thank you.
All right, Wesco has a lot to offer. You know, the best education for our kids. In the last couple of years, you know, there's many things that Wesco has done that is different from, you know, the charter schools. You know, they've while I was on the board, we started the Aquatic Academy. That was all for second graders, all second grade students. We started the ACE program after school, you know, which that relieved a lot of parents from paying daycares, because the kids would stay there till 6 o'clock. We started with the ELF program. It's a pre-K program, so the early college, dual enrollment. The district has so much to offer that charter schools don't offer. So we just need to keep increasing the school distinctions, and hopefully have some schools that are be part of the national blue ribbon status, and that's going to show that Wesco ISD is the best.
Thank you. And the same question, Mr. Del Santo.
Thank you. As soon as I signed up for this position, I started looking at previous academic achievement data, and I can tell you that Wesco ISD is the right choice. Not only do we offer a variety of amenities for parents, like they were mentioning earlier, as far as UIL and other features throughout the district, but if you look at our data, you can see that we're a high achieving school district. And if you also look at the mobility rate, meaning the students that come to the district and leave the district, you can see that the amount of students that actually leave to, say, for instance, IDEA, the charter school, we actually received back within the same year. We've been able to sustain our enrollment for the last 6 years, since 2014. So what I think is the issue with charter schools is that we all need to look at the marketing that we do. I think we need to change the marketing and start focusing on the pre-K3 through second grade levels, and start to target those parents and those students, because those do have choices and high mobility rate. Because if we look at the enrollment for the last 6 years, we can see that we've held our own within the school district.
Thank you very much. Mr. Caballero, next question, you're up first. Given the current global pandemic and the limited access to Wi-Fi and other resources for students, what do you think can be done to help support these students and their families?
A couple of years ago, when I was on the school board, we started putting in a lot of money for technology. So we were able to put a couple of $1 million every year, because our goal was to have one Chromebook for every student in Wesco ISD. And that is the reason that when all this COVID pandemic started, we were able to assign practically one computer or Chromebook to each student so that they can learn virtually from their home. So this started a long time ago. And then we have some staff that have applied for grants. I know at Wesco East and Wesco High School, and we got the hotspots. So right now we're on trend to take care of all the kids. But I know that probably there's still some that are needing it, and I think we need to continue with these grants to try to get all this equipment to their kids in their homes.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Sanchez.
Oh, okay. Of course, during with the global pandemic, I believe that I know that I was around when we do have a 1-to-1 ratio for Chromebooks and per student. So because of this, hotspots are a commodity. We need to make sure that we have a lot of hotspots for our students. We also need to make sure that these hotspots are in working condition. It has to be a community effort to be able to get all these hotspots and Chromebooks available to our students. I believe that our students, because of the pandemic, we need to make sure that these kids have the tools that they need so they can be successful. So in closing, I believe that the students need to be provided with the Chromebooks and hotspots so they can be able to communicate and do their work at school. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. De Los Santos?
Yes, I like to say that Wesco ISD has done an excellent job in providing devices on a one-to-one basis and providing hotspots to students and families. I think that we're going to continue to build on that capacity. And what we need to do is be innovative. I think that for reaching out to those rural areas, for hotspots to be effective, we need to make sure that we have enough towers and we have enough connectivity. And so I think that we need to reach out and partner with the city and with the county. We need to be innovative. We need to reach out to telecommunication companies and see what type of grants are available so that we can build that infrastructure and we can increase that connectivity. I also believe that we need to invest in software to improve the virtual distance learning programs that are currently going on, because those will be adapting and increasing as well too. We need to make sure that we invest every single possible dollar so that we provide a good education to students that are on campus and that also decide to stay home and participate through virtual distance learning programs.
Okay, thank you. Next question, Ms. Sanchez. What has motivated you to run for office?
What's motivated me to run for office is I believe that we need to have change in our district. I think that because of the students that are coming up in the ranks, I believe that if we have change and if we still stick to the same thing, we never know what's out there. What's motivated me also is I hear a lot of our teachers complaining about that they're being overworked and underpaid. And I believe that because of that, I want to be their voice. I want to be the voice for not only teachers, but for the entire school district. I think that that the employees work very, very hard and they don't get compensated. I also want to make sure that they have a good insurance and they don't have to worry about that their insurance does not work for them. And that's what's motivated me. I want the change for the district and I want to move them in a positive direction.
Thank you. Mr. Caballero, same question.
Well, again, I love to give back to my community. I've been so involved with my community. You know, I bring 2 terms that I served from 2011 to 2018, and I was part of the finance committee along with Dr. Rivera, and I learned so much about balancing the budget, for the district, and I feel that I would be a great asset to the board and to this district, having that knowledge, especially right now with all this COVID and unforeseen future that is coming up. I know that funding is going to be restricted, and we don't know what to expect. And I think we need somebody who has experience in finance.
Thank you, sir. Mr. De Los Santos?
Yes, thank you. Being a community member, a parent, and also a taxpayer, and a parent who has children in Westbrook ISD, I always closely follow the elections at the city and school level. When I saw that place 2 was open and available, I wanted to see who had signed up for that position. And when I saw that the individual that had signed up was someone that, I thought we've already gone down that direction before, I thought that maybe we needed to take a new direction and move forward. As a parent and a taxpayer, I felt that we needed to have new representation, because if the previous representation was equivalent and productive, then the individual wouldn't be running for a new place. So I just decided that with my 15 years of experience working with millions of dollars, managing millions of dollars according to state and federal guidelines, and also being able to understand and relate to the concerns of not only the students, but also the teachers, the staff, the paraprofessionals, every single component within the school district, would make me an effective candidate so that I can truly represent the students, the staff, and the community as a whole, especially during these difficult times.
Okay, thank you. Next question for Mr. Caballero. Retaining good teachers is a challenge. As a school board member, what can be done to make certain good teachers don't leave our district?
Well, first and foremost, we need to provide a healthy and safe environment, especially right now during this COVID times. But I always believe in having a positive environment. They need to be in a positive environment, so that they can produce and be happy to come to work. I also feel that, of course, having them as one of the top paying school districts is very important, because they give a lot to our kids. I mean, they're in the front lines every day in front of our kids, teaching our kids. So I believe in having a good salary. I believe that we need to give them good benefits, provide some good insurance, so and all the resources that they need to educate our children.
Thank you very much. Ms. Sanchez.
I believe in order for us to retain our teachers, I believe that we need to make sure that we provide a good salary and benefits. I also believe that if I am elected for school board, I will have an open door policy. I will have our teachers, I will give out my number where they can contact me if they have any concerns without fear. I want my teachers also to know that I will support them 110% and above, because I too was a teacher at one point, and I know what it takes to be in the classroom. And right now, going with this pandemic, these teachers have their hands full. And we just need to be a little bit more compassionate to what they're going through. And I'm an advocate for teachers 110%. But in order for us to make sure that we retain them, I believe good salaries and, of course, good benefits.
All right, thank you. And Mr. De Los Santos.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I believe that, yes, we do have to have a competitive salary. We also have to have very good 5-star benefits for our teachers as well. And I think we just need a couple additional components as far as making sure that as a board member and as a board as a whole, that we create a positive learning community, a positive environment, a culture that induces discussion and input, that we do surveys and always make sure to find out what input the teachers have so that we can continue to build the organization. I feel also that we need to start providing funding specifically for teachers within the classroom so that they can buy materials that are tailored to their instructional style, the way the way that they deliver instruction, the way that we have students that have different learning styles. Well, we have teachers as well that have different instructional styles. And I think if we make that investment as well, we'll see an increase in academic achievement. And then we'll also build up, like I said, upon that positive learning community.
All right, thank you very much. And last question for this group, we'll start with Mr. Caballero. Are you the term limits for the school board? And if yes, how many terms should a member be allowed to serve?
As far as term limits, that's a question that I think we should have term limits, but I don't think it should be 8 years. I think it should be at least 12 years, or maybe 4 terms, because I totally agree. And being have served on the school board for 8 years. It takes a little time to get adapt to all the things that are going on, the finances, and it's just so much information to receive, and I think that in order to have a strong school board, you need experienced school board members with at least 2 to 3 terms in order to run, and then train the new school board members that are coming in.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Sanchez.
Yes, I do agree that there should be term limits. I think that people should be allowed to do 2 term limits. I'm always for change. I think that people will have a different perspective, different outlooks, and as time change, people need to change with those times. I don't like career politicians. I think that people who are in positions for a long time get complacent, and they do no longer listen to the public or to the employees of the school. Complacent because they're going to be there for another 4 years. I am a strong advocate for term limits. I do want for there to be change and diversity. I think that we do need women on the board. We have all males, and I'm that candidate. I need to be on that board so I can make these positive changes for our district.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mr. De Los Santos?
Yes, sir. I completely agree that we do need term limits. I believe that individuals, when they sign up to run for the board, they have goals. They obviously see gaps and needs that they want to address. They have concerns from the community that they want to address. And I believe that after 8 years, once they've served, they should have already accomplished those goals. To see people running over and over again on the same platform from previous elections that or seats that they've had before, we pretty much just are spinning our wheels. We need to pass the torch. If somebody has 8 years to be successful, then that is great. And then they pass on the torch to somebody new that sees maybe needs and gaps that current individual doesn't see. I think 8 years is more than enough time to be successful, address any concerns, move the district forward, implement your leadership and your guidance, and represent the community in a positive manner. So I totally agree that I think 2 terms, 8 years is more than enough time.
Thank you very much. Okay, and let's go to our closing statement, and we'll start with Mr. Caballero. We have 2 minutes.
All righty then. I believe that there's so many possibilities for our future, and I would like to be part of our district to create unique learning opportunities. Wesco ISD, I love my community, and I would like to have one more term at least, to serve. I have two girls in the high school, you know. Um, but education is the most important resource in our community. It promotes learning. It provides the social, economic mobility, and it impacts every single person. And I would like to serve one more term. I got my kids, at the high school. As your Wesco ISD Board of Trustee, I would again put our children first. I have always run on a vision of transparency, accountability, and community, and supporting our teachers, supporting our staff, supporting our administrators, and especially our parents every step of the way to ensure that we all are working together for the betterment of our school district. So again, my name is Oscar Caballero. I'm running for School Board Place 2, and I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you so much.
And thank you, sir. And Ms. Sanchez, your closing statements.
Well, my closing statement is the people here in Wesco that have worked in the school district and those who don't. My name is again Paula Sanchez. I am running for place 2 as well. I am a firm believer that education is the key to open all doors. I believe that we have we have the positive environment for our teachers and for all who partake that are part of our students. I think our students will be very successful. It's a domino effect. It starts with the superintendent and it rolls down. And I honestly think that every component in the district is very, very important. I want to represent all those people who are in the district, not just teachers, but also my custodians and also my bus drivers, security guards, yard crew, maintenance. I am here for all those people. My office, the administration in central office. I am a firm believer that education is key. I keep reiterating that because this is true. These are our children. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, our students are very important to us and we need to get them back into the districts. We have a lot of issues going on through social and emotional learning. It's just a sad situation. I want to be able to be that advocate, to be part of the committee that brings in our kids back and with a safe environment. And also, so I'm hoping that, again, I am Paula Sanchez. I am running for School Board Place 2. And I hope that I've convinced you that I am the only choice for this position. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Mr. De Los Santos.
Yes, thank you. I believe that my 15 years of experience within education and working within the different levels, like I said, directly with students, directly with teachers, directly with campus administration, and working directly with central office admin, and every single person within all those departments, whether it's paraprofessional, instructional aides, auxiliary staff, like they said, maintenance, nutrition, transportation, etc. I feel that I can be a strong advocate for everyone. Right now, as we move into these difficult times with the pandemic and that we're facing, and then also coming back to school and the virtual distance learning, we need innovative, creative individuals that can step up to this board and have also a background with budgets, especially having the experience of working with millions of dollars of budgets and staying within state and federal guidelines. I said, I think that all that combined makes me a very strong candidate for this position. I look to be an advocate. I look to be innovative. I look to create a positive learning culture. I want to work across all lines. Like I said, I've always had positive relationships. I feel that I can get onto the school board and be effective and work with the other members and moving this district forward as we continue to build on what we currently have in place. Right now, there's policies and procedures and equipment that is going to continuously adapt as time goes on. Every single district within the entire valley, even the state and probably the nation, is trying to get things right. It's trying to come up with solutions on how to keep not only students and staff safe, but also parents and the community members that are going to be receiving these students at the end of the day when they go home. We're going to have to be innovative, and we're going to have to continue to build on what we currently have. We're going to have to also make sure that the fiscal management, the fiscal integrity within the district stays at a healthy level as we see unexpected expenditures arise. And I feel that my experience has prepared me well for that, and I hope to be your candidate for place number 2. My name is Marcos de los Santos, and I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you all three again. We appreciate very much you're willing to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you to our place 2 candidates. We appreciate your time. And we're going to jump into our place 3 candidates. We're going to get them up on the screen. And we will get started in just a second. Once again, for those of you watching, thank you for joining us. Stay tuned after place 3 comments. We'll be talking about voting and where you can get more information on where to vote and when to vote. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to John to go ahead and start with the questions and opening statements for place 3.
Thank you. And Mr. Kennedy, we will start with you with an opening statement, please.
Good evening. My name is Patrick Kennedy, and tonight I am asking for your support to re-elect me for the Wesco School Board Place 3. I'm 33 years old. I'm married to my sweetheart, Sophie. I've got 2 beautiful girls, Sadie and Katie, and they're watching this right now at my parents' house. Hey. I've been an attorney for the last 6 years. I have my own law firm, and prior to that, I was a teacher for the Wesco Independent School District. I taught history at B. Garza Middle School. 4 years ago, you gave me the honor and the privilege of serving you on the Wesco School Board. And since that time, the community and the board have worked together to accomplish great things for our district. Let's talk about academics. Our math and science scores have steadily increased over the last 4 years. Let's talk about infrastructure. Wesco WISD High School has a brand new band hall. Wesco High School has a brand new field health athletic facility. Our 3 middle schools have brand new pavilions so our kids can play in the shade and stay out of the hot August, September heat when they finally go back to school. Our elementary schools have secure access panels now to prevent unwanted visitors and control access points into our schools, increasing the safety of our elementary students. Our school district has a contract with the city of Wesco. We now have 5 Wesco police officers patrolling our high schools and our middle schools. And I voted every time against raising your taxes. That's the kind of experience and work ethic that I bring to the table as a member of the Wesco School Board. And if you agree that that's the direction that you want to take our district in for the next 4 years, I ask that you consider to vote to re-elect me, Patrick Kennedy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Go ahead, you're on.
Hi. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak to the Wesco community today so we can get to know their school board candidates better. I'd love to start off with a quote that resonates with me and maybe resonates with a lot of you, and that is, "It takes a village to raise a child." As a child myself, born and raised here in Wesco, Texas, I was blessed with parents that pushed me to try hard and excel in all my school endeavors, which were many. I went to school from pre-K to high school and through all the Wesco ISD schools, guided and supported by those village members that were my teachers, my coaches, my band directors. They did an awesome job raising the child in me and in a lot of people here in Wesco. I'm a product of the hard work and the dedication that they put into their students. And I want to say thank you, because the impact you have on your students, you will never know how big it is. So the Wesco Village created a teacher in me. I graduated from UTPA with a bachelor's in bilingual education and a master's in special education. And the teacher in me strives still to this day to be a positive member of the village, the community that we live in. I want to be the role model. It's my turn now to be the role model to that little girl that was just like me or any other child, and say, hey, when you grow up, when you believe in something, you know what's right, stand up for it. So that's the reason why I'm so blessed to be seeking a place on the school board. It's a big responsibility. It should not be taken lightly. So being a mother of 6 children, 5 of whom attend Wesco ISD in elementary, middle, and high school, I know what it's like as a parent to deal with toddlers and teens and preteens, and my time is up, so I'll stop.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Kennedy, we'll start with you with the first question. The first question for both of you is, how is or should the district combat the competition from charter schools in the area?
We should absolutely combat the charter schools in the area. And I'll tell you how we do it. We have to investigate what our strengths are, and we have to exploit their weaknesses. When we look at our data, right, we get a lot of parents who are coming back from Idea Academy back to the Wesco ISD, and we ask them why. And we look at the data trends, all right? The data trends show that parents tend to put their kids in Idea Academy between the grades of kindergarten through 4th grade, and then they come back to us after 4th grade. So you see a decline in attendance or enrollment in elementary, but you see an incline in middle schools and high schools. And so we wonder why. And I think that's primarily due to the fact that Wesco ISD offers things that charter schools do not. That is rigorous extracurricular activities, and like such as band and sports. And we also offer different academic activities the IDEA doesn't either. So what we need to do is we need to advertise those strengths, right? And we need to play to that, and that'll help get our enrollment back down also from Idea Academy. The second thing
time. You'll be able to follow up on that in your closing. And same question for you, ma'am.
Okay, well, I want to start off by saying this. The U.S. Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, was asked in a May interview if she was trying to use COVID-19 pandemic taxpayer money to divert to private schools. And she answered, yes, absolutely. Congress set aside $13.5 billion intended for public schools. And that amounts to $266 per student if you divide it into the 50.8 million students in our country. Now, the PPP, which is the Paycheck Protection Program, is given to the private schools in the country. The private schools are allowed to get that. Each school gets $5,000 per student, which the public schools are not eligible to get PPP money. So what do we want to do to combat the competition? Go out and vote. Set aside your allegiance to your party. Set aside your allegiance to Republican, Democrat. Look at the candidate. Look at their forum. What are they for? Public education.
Thank you. Okay, ma'am, I'm going to stick with you for the next question. In a time of crisis, the health of our students and staff are of utmost importance. Are you in favor of students returning to campus at this time? And what kind of solution can you offer to help educators as they enforce the CDC guidelines to ensure the safety of their students and their own families?
Well, I believe we need to give parent options. We all have different lives. We all have different situations to deal with. Some people can't stay home and take care of their kids because they have to work. Some people don't have anybody to take care of their kids. Some people are blessed to be able to stay home and stay with their kids. We all have different lives and situations. So the best thing we can do is to give everybody options. What works best for you? We need to have the teachers also. Some want to go back, some don't want to go back because they have safety concerns. So we all have different opinions. We have to realize that we all don't think the same. So having options for everybody, which is great what Wesco ISD is doing right now. We're given the option if we want to send our kids back to school or we want to keep them at home. But options is a very important thing to give to the community.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kennedy.
Personally, I don't think it's time for kids to go back to school, but I don't always vote on my personal opinion. I listen to the voters. That's what I was elected to do. And when you listen to the voters, there are two types, right? There are teachers out there who are really scared about going back to the classroom, and understandably so. I mean, they're going to be exposed to a lot of people at one time in a confined area, and it's very frightening to be able to face that prospect of obtaining or catching COVID-19. On the other hand, you have parents, like Ms. Hustaita said, that they simply can't stay home. Staying home, taking care of kids means less food on the table, or maybe not making the mortgage payment. So we have to meet in the middle somehow, right? And meeting in the middle means that we offer safe schools, right? We provide the actual, the PPE, the personal protective equipment to our teachers. We train them in how to, in the CDC guidelines, and we also teach the students on the importance of this ongoing pandemic. It's a tremendous learning opportunity for our children, but a trying time for our community.
Okay, very good. I'm sticking with you, Mr. Kennedy. Are you in favor of term limits for the school board? And if yes, how many terms should a member be allowed to serve?
I really don't have any opinion on term limits. I mean, In all the 4 years I've been here, I listened to concerns about insurance. I listened to insurance about, are we giving quality education? Are we giving our teachers adequate pay raises? And not once has anyone ever mentioned term limits. If the people want term limits, like I said, I don't have a problem supporting term limits, but I will say this. Imagine that Dr. Rivera was younger, right? And he wanted to run for another term. This would be his third term, right? It would be really hard to tell a man of that kind of wisdom and experience, we don't want your wisdom and experience and your guiding hand in our district. You've already had time to have your legacy. I mean, can you imagine turning away someone who wants to serve and has that kind of experience? And term limits has the potential to do that. So it could be a double-edged sword. You have to watch out. It may keep someone you don't like out of office, but it could also prevent someone who's doing a good job for the community out of office.
Thank you. Same question?
Yes, well, I am in favor of term limits. I feel that I'm in favor of change and progress. And there's a quote by Robert Kennedy that really sticks out to me when I think about change and progress, and that is, progress is a nice word, but change is its motivator, and change has its enemies. And like Mr. Kennedy said, Dr. Rivera is a role model for Weslaco, but with all his knowledge, all his background, if he passes that on to the school board members that sat there with him, we all learn from him. So the great thing about being a teacher is that people absorb what you get out, and that's the beauty in being a good leader. So even though many people don't like change and they're not ready for it, change is what brings progress. I believe in giving new and fresh ideas to our community, and 2 terms, 8 years, almost a decade is plenty of time to make change.
Okay, thank you. And sticking with you, what has motivated you to run for office?
Well, the hashtag on my sign says, because experience matters. So having the experience in the classroom, number one, is very important because I know the issues going on with the schools and in the classroom and with the teachers. Number two, the parenting experience. I have kids in middle school, high school, elementary. I know what's going on at every grade level. And something else very important to me is I saw the need to represent a missing group of people from the school board, and that is mothers and females. When you have a representative system like the school board, but you have people left out based on their gender or based on their class or based on their ethnicity, it's hard to argue that you have a representative system for all the people. So we all have the different experiences, and it's important to bring those experiences and represent those at the table.
Thank you. Ms. Kennedy?
What motivates me to run? Gratitude. I attended Weslaco Public Schools all the way from pre-K till I graduated from Weslaco East High School. And that public education, the time that those teachers took to teach me what I know now, has enabled me to build a business. It enables me to provide for my family. It enables me to give a service back to my community, all because of a public education at Weslaco. I'll just say, I went to a law school, right, where I sat next to students who talked about going to private preparatory academies in Dallas. And I would look up those up. And those people's parents were paying 20 grand a year for them to go to private schools. And yet I sat in the very same desk as them. I took the same coursework, and my parents didn't pay 20 grand a year. We went to Weslaco ISD, and those teachers here, they gave me this education. And if I can get it, I want your kids to get it. And that's why I'm running.
Thank you, sir. And another question for you, for both of you. Retaining good teachers is a challenge. As a school board member, what can be done to make sure good teachers don't leave the district?
Who goes first?
Mr. Kennedy, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, okay, great. Well, teachers care about their health. They care about training. They care about benefits. Right, 4 years ago, right, one of the main issues that teachers had was the fact that Knapp Medical Center was out of the insurance coverage that the district offered. And I'd said right at the debate of the candidate forum 4 years ago that I would fight to get that in. And within months, Knapp Medical Center was back in our insurance coverage, meaning that if a teacher in Weslaco got sick, they could go to a local hospital and get quality medical care, right? They cared about that, and they still care about it. You hear about it when they're talking about their concerns over COVID-19. So you got to take care of their medical needs, right? Second of all, you got to train them. Nobody wants to be thrust into a classroom where they have no training of what to do. They're right. Administrators have to back them up by providing the training so that their teachers feel comfortable teaching the content, teaching the students.
Thank you. Ma'am?
So the question was, how do we keep good teachers in our district? Well, as a teacher myself, I left. I didn't want to leave, but I left. But this is how we keep good teachers in the district, and that is by staying competitive with other districts. Just like all the other candidates said, stay competitive. Everyone needs to pay bills. Everybody needs to feed their families. We need to offer competitive pay. I know, because I have a lot of friends in the district, that there was a big problem this year with stipends and with the raise. That's a huge issue that came up this year. Many people weren't happy about the decisions made. But keep teachers happy, stay competitive. Health, of course, is very important. Health insurance, recognizing their achievements often. People like to feel that they're appreciated and reward them. See, I know that we have the school board, the big board over by the Westaco High School Stadium with the Teachers of the Year, and that's awesome. Things like that to recognize the teachers is something that they really appreciate.
Thank you. And sticking with you, and our last question before we go to final statements, what are the ideal qualities for a superintendent in Westaco ISD, and why do you think those qualities are necessary for Westaco?
So an ideal quality for a superintendent is to have the vision. The vision is very important because the superintendent needs to know what the district needs are and how we're going to take the district there. The leader in me, when I was teaching, we talked about the leader in me a lot, and there is a habit that good leaders have, and that is begin with the end in mind. The superintendent should have that vision of the end in mind and know how to get the district to that goal. And of course, being a good listener and being a good communicator. As a leader, you have to listen to what the people say to you, and you have to listen to their concerns, to their ideas. Be a good listener and communicate with them daily. There's so many ways to communicate now with people virtually, online, phones. Communication is everywhere. So having the good communication with your staff is very important for a superintendent.
Thank you very much. Ms. Kennedy.
Communication and the ability to manage large groups of diverse and talented people. So the superintendent that we currently have manages a huge operation, right? If you combine the numbers of our staff and our students, it's close to like 18 or 19,000 people, over half the size of Westaco. You got to imagine every type of talent that it takes to run that organization, from our custodians, right, who have to be specialized in cleaning operations, to our bus drivers who have to learn how to drive big vehicles, to like Andres Sanchez in the accounting department who manages numbers. You have to be able to manage all these different various types of talents and to be able to coordinate them to form an effective organization. So knowing how to manage is very key. Second of all, communication is important. Communication with the board, communication with the community, and communication with the staff and teachers. So like, for example, the last 4 years, our super has been going to the elementary schools and middle schools and doing community outreach events. Every single school gets one every year, and I think that's a good deal for communication.
Okay, thank you. And now we're ready for the closing statements. Ma'am, you're up with 2 minutes for closing statement, please.
Sure. So I would like to go over a question that wasn't asked, but I'm going to go ahead because I have 2 minutes, and that is, why is my platform different? So let me start off by saying this. This week I went to central office to leave some paperwork, and I found this magazine in front of me that said Women on the Board, and I asked, can I borrow that? And I was able to take it home and read it, and it was just eye-opening to me that not only in Westaco, but all over the country, we have a gender gap in leadership positions in education. 72% of K-12 educators are women, and 24% of superintendents are women. So the cornerstone of education is teaching everybody about equity. Now, we teach our kids that anyone can be leaders, no matter what gender, class, race you are. It takes a village to raise a child. My platform is about equity. Let's be the role models, and let's show our kids and other village members that they can be leaders, they can cross barriers by standing up for what they believe in. My platform is different because it's about representing all of our community, not just some of the community. There's a missing group on the board, and that is the mother and the female. And in this ever-changing world that we live in, diversity and equality are central issues in our society. How can we make things better? By being united. Unity in diversity. Strength lies in differences, not in similarities. That is what I want for my community. Unity in diversity and in strength. And it begins with our school board and our kids and our schools.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Ms. Kennedy, 2 minutes for your closing.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our positions today. I'm asking for your vote to re-elect me for the Wesco School Board. As I mentioned in my opening statement, the district has done great things. Our kids' grades are getting better. We're building great new facilities, right? 4 years ago, the fire marshal wouldn't let our band practice in the Wesco East Band Hall because it exceeded the capacity. And today you have a brand new band hall. The girls' athletic facilities has been built over the last 4 years. We have new pavilions to keep our kids safe. I voted against raising your taxes, right? Things are going in the right direction. We're already progressing. So my opponent mentioned Robert F. Kennedy. She said that change brings progress. I voted against raising your taxes. Why change that? And change it to what? We're building brand new buildings for our kids. What are you going to change from that? How are you going to change it? Where our scores are getting better. How do you change that? What is the direction that you want to go, right? Like Ms. Ustaita had the ability to run for an open seat, okay? And to bring a woman onto the open seat, just like Ms. Sanchez did. I'm here, I'm doing the things that are progressing this district, right? Voting against raising your taxes. We're building brand new things. Our teachers have seen thousands of dollars in pay raises the last 4 years. Why me? Why change what's working for the district? That's not something that you heard here tonight, right? I'm asking you to stay the course. Sometimes progress isn't change. Ask the Bolsheviks when they went to communism, right? That wasn't progress, right? Ask any of the things that went wrong. Change just for the sake of change isn't good enough. You have to do what works, right? And what works is an experienced candidate who has 4 years of solid experience, who was working for you, working for our staff members, working for our children. And I ask that on November 3rd, you vote for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank both of you. So appreciate you being here and taking part in the forum. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Yes. Once again, thank you to all of the candidates who participated this evening. We're going to go ahead and bring all of our candidates onto the screen for just a wave goodbye. And we're going to take a group photo of everybody for participating today. Once again, we thank all of our participants for being a part of today's event. You all did a fabulous job in sharing with our community what you will bring to the table. So we are excited to have you here, and we encourage the community to vote. It is so important to be an informed voter. So those of you who joined in, thank you for listening in and hearing what our candidates have to say. So those on the screen, let's take a quick group photo. I'm going to ask Anthony to lead us with that really quickly.
All right. 1, 2, and
terrific.
We even include the little click on there so you all can hear the. Let's make it seem like you're actually there. And again, we thank you for embracing a virtual platform. This is, like we said, the first time that we do something like this, where we have to do a candidate forum on a virtual platform. Typically, we're able to bring you all to an event and have an event like this and see everybody in person. But given the current circumstances, we appreciate your consideration of being able to make this work for you and for bringing that information to our voters. I think we're going to take one more picture because we took that logo off the screen there for you, Miss Jackie. All right, so let's take one more photo.
All right, 1, 2, and awesome.
Awesome. Once again, thank you to all of our candidates. I'm going to briefly go over a little bit of information in regards to the upcoming elections. We want to encourage you to vote. I'm going to talk about when we have early voting starting. So beginning on October 13th, early voting will begin October 13th all the way through October 17th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That will actually continue into Sunday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. October 19th through 24th the following week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then October 25th, that Sunday, will be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. October 26th through the 30th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Those are dates and times that you can vote. And of course, Election Day will be on November 3rd from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We again want to encourage you to vote. These are the dates that you see up on your screen. We want to encourage you to take a look at that. Also, for those of you who want more information on elections, you can visit the Hidalgo County Elections website. They have a lot of information up there. You can even access a link where you can download a sample ballot to see those who are in your precinct that you'll be voting for. So if you are wanting to do that, visit Hidalgo County Elections website, and you can actually download a sample ballot. So we encourage you to do that. Be an informed voter. The reason that the Chamber of Commerce comes together to host events like this is because we want you to be informed and aware of what you need to do to get your voice heard, and that is to vote. Again, the dates are up on the screen there. Early voting begins next week on Tuesday the 13th. So we want to see you here. Actually, there'll be a voting opportunity here at the Business Visitors and Event Center here in Wesco, right next to City Hall. So if you're looking for a place to vote during early voting, you're welcome to stop by the Business Visitors and Event Center here in Wesco, right next to City Hall. We will have Hidalgo County Elections will begin their setup next week. And again, you will have an opportunity to vote right here. It's really important that your voice is heard. To those who joined us this evening, thank you so much for being a part of our event today. We really appreciate all the candidates, and for those who joined us online and took time to listen to the different platforms and the voices of our candidates. We appreciate you. Thank you on behalf of the Wesco Area Chamber of Commerce, our board of directors, and our investors of the chamber. We appreciate you, and we thank you for being a part of this evening's event. Once again, the dates of early voting and Election Day are up on your screen. We encourage you to keep an eye out for that, and we encourage you to vote. Thank you for joining us this evening, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.